it seems. But that's not really an answer. And Edouard admits he has nothing to throw in front of the big back Planeswalker. And Gideon takes his second game of the evening on camera. While they're sideboarding, I'm gonna go get something to drink real quick because I'm getting a dry throat. So I'll leave you with the horrible music for a minute or so. If I take a coffee, then I won't be sleeping at all tonight. No, just some apple cider to smear the good old vocal cords. I put the win on the wrong side. It's 0-1. Lars is one game ahead, of course. Yeah, I can pump the music as loud as I want to, though I guess that's louder than you would like to, so I'm being nice to you guys here, you know? I could be doing like this the entire time. And all that without a microphone warning. Ha! See, that's what happens when players are sideboarding and you don't have anything interesting to talk about. I should have like a sheet of interesting topics ready for me. Hey, half an hour and the Belgian team starts with their Olympian hockey finals. How about that? What do you guys think? Silver medal or gold medal? Uh, Is that referring to a gold medal or you want me to play the saxophone? Is this some sort of Twitch TV meme of indecent proposals that I'm not aware of? Okay, both players are shuffling up. I have no idea what they have available in their sideboards. I assume both of them have some negates and dispels available to them as their pretty core sideboard cards. The funny thing is, I actually don't hear the music myself. If I hear the music myself, it creates an echo that repeats myself and the music on the repeat of the music on the repeat of the music. So that's why I prefer. I. It's really helpful if you guys tell me if the music's too loud or not because I can't hear it. Interesting topics. Well, there has been some demand for an article about mulligan decisions. There's also some general deck building strategies that some players would like some explanation about, like why I keep telling everybody that the read the bones don't fit in their aggro decks, stuff like that. It's good in the sideboard against mid-rangey control decks sometimes. But let's focus on the game as we are on the way. Edouard opening with a island and getting a Throbbin inspector, not an investigator, an inspector, because calling it an investigator would be way too cool. And Lars drawing first blood with it. Oh, a token free blade. So Lars is full on the tempo plan here. Maybe we saw a slightly more controlling side of his deck in the previous game. Also, another idea for an interesting article would be the other article ideas were, what was I thinking about? The new cards from Eldritch Moon and the impact they will have. And soon, of course, the impact that losing Dragons of Tarkir and Magic Origins will have. But I guess that article should wait another month and a half until it's written. In the meantime, we have the little early game back and forth between a somewhat aggro deck and a control deck, getting rid of the few threats, reloading, tutoring a little bit. Lars showing he can put some pressure, Edouard showing he is capable of handling a little pressure. I'm pretty much ignoring the inspectors on the board because he really doesn't care about those. They'll probably incidentally die to some sort of sweeper. And in the meantime, they do pack for 2 a turn, so if Edouard doesn't get a chain of pieces of the puzzle, it's very hard for him to set up a rise from the tides that would theoretically raise 2 inspectors, but we probably won't come to that scenario just now. And I agree, Tom, on the Mulligan decision article. I don't think it's something we on the Gentry website should focus on. There's so much general information about that. Sideboarding, that's a little different because we have a unique format, and that's actually something that could be helpful to a bunch of players. Now, Lars is presenting a real clock for the first time in the game now, since the Topen Freeblade died. And that one open mana could mean a lot of things. The fact he didn't play the Sky Spawner last turn might indicate he has an Essence Flux or a Dispel available, depending on what he's anticipating from Edouard, who has a Flaying Tendrils. Yeah, and I that's the new remand, I think. The the just bounce something, but without the draw card attached to it. I think I like negate better than that card. All it really does now is unsubstantiate. Yeah, that's the card I was looking for. I think negate is strictly better than unsubstantiate. Yeah, I agree. It's pretty overrated. So, Lars seems to be happy to have a clock on the board and just sit that one out. In 3 turns, he has the kill on the table. The Flaying Tendrils, of course, comes back for a repeat, but this time Lars is ready for it. So Spell Shrivel counters it. Yeah, yeah, I see your point, but don't forget that this is Gentry and that disperse is a common and the insubstantiate is an uncommon. It makes me not like it. Both negate and disperse being commons. I don't think the extra flexibility is worth one of your uncommon slots. That's the interesting thing about Gentry. It changes your frame for assessing the value of a card by so much. Like, yeah, the thing is here, the Edouard. Yeah, I like this play. Edouard can't really afford to be greedy now. He only has uh, two attacks left before he dies. I see three Rise from the Tides in his hand, which is pretty insane. But what he needs is another sweeper and a counter spell to go along with it. Apparently he is playing 4 Flaying Tendrils and a Languish, so it's not that impossible for him to get another one. The Rise is also awkward because the tokens come into play tapped. Um, it actually can't defend him. Like, he could only play it next turn, then the tokens come tapped and he dies on the attack back. Lars drawing some more control and gets another unsubstantiate. And I missed the rest of the cards in his hand. Tax Edouard down to 4. And I see Whirler Rogue, Dispel, and Substantiate, Spell Shrivel. So no negate in his hand. But it doesn't really matter. Lars has more than enough to keep anything off the board. And Edouard still forced to play draw spells to dig into something. The problem you sometimes have with blue-black control is you draw into draw spells and more draw spells, and you don't get enough gas in between to actually get on the board. Dwar has one blue mana available to him, and the spell for backup, but Lars has double backup for this. And that is just game. Lars wins it 2-0. That's in quite a bit of a blowout here. Maybe Edouard could have played a bit more patiently, especially with his sweepers, to make sure that he can protect them. Um, but this was a pretty convincing win. So thank you very much for being with me for round 3. This was a pretty quick round actually, so I'm afraid you'll have to wait 25 minutes for me to start the final round of this tournament. So see you guys back at around 10 o'clock and enjoy the music.